What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, or Expert. We are back with some more videos. How you doing, chat? How you doing, boys and girls and women and men and those in between? I don't know. Anyways, we're back with some more grand guides. We're gonna be doing Shinra today. I wasn't gonna do the Fire Force characters like in any scenario because of how fucked I got on their banner. Like, I kid you not, it took me 3 full rotations to pull everybody as free to play. I was in shambles, bro. I was crashing out. The first rotation, I pulled literally nobody, so I had to get Tamaki. The second rotation, I pulled Tamaki twice, and then I pitied Sho. And then the third rotation, I just needed to pull a collab character, and I was going to turn my 2 Tamaki copies and that collab character into a Shinra, or I would have to just pity Shinra. And thankfully, shout out to Dark Trinity, homie did multis on my account and he had the best luck I've ever seen. He pulled Shinra, Tamaki, and Sho back to back. So yeah, fuck that guy. But no, Fire Force has been billing me, so I didn't even want to do content on this fucking like collab. Let me not even talk about it. Point is, right, I was not interested in this collab whatsoever, but since the collab is gone, the banner is gone, I might as well talk about these characters and then just go on my day. Okay, so let's start off with Shinra. And just to be clear, I don't know what these characters truly do because I genuinely do not give a fuck, and they're not that good. But let's get a little bit of my bias out of the way and let's actually talk facts here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with his passive. For each human ally participating in battle, their basic stats increase by 5% and the hero's damage dealt is increased by 10%. He gains Divine Flame for 3 turns at the start of the battle. Divine Flame increases his HP related stats by 30% and he is immune to Infect, which is pretty crazy. When the hero takes damage from skills during the enemy's turn, the attackers are afflicted with Ignite for 3 turns. And at the end of the turn, the hero inflicts damage equal to 7% of the hero's max HP on ignited enemies for each Ignite effect on them, which is very strong, very strong. I'm gonna be real, that's crazy. When taking damage from allies during the enemy's turn, applicable allies' damage taken does not exceed 50% of their max HP, which that does scale with ult level. Unfortunately, mine's 1/6, and probably a decent amount of y'all are 1/6, so this is fine. And applicable allies being Sho, Tamaki, and Self. He does not work with humans, he does not work with like demons or whatever, it's only for the Fire Force team. He only gives the Fire Force team damage cap, just so that's known. And then he gains Faster Than Light for 2 turns if the hero's max HP falls below 50% or more from the skill use, or if the hero does not take damage from the enemy skills during an enemy's turn. Which is pretty good, right? Because his Faster Than Light gimmick is probably the best part of his whole kit. We'll get in that in a second because I'm pretty sure it's the next portion of this long ass passive, right? If the hero deals damage using a all attack while Faster Than Light is active, one enemy with the most Ignite effects is expelled for 1 turn, and all Faster Than Light effects are removed. Yeah, kinda crazy, because Expel is a really underrated ability that only a Hawk and Oslo have, but now that a cool character has it that can be used in PvP, it's kinda wild. And it's called Devil's Footprints. That's a sick-ass passive name, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, they cooked with that passive name. Devil's Footprints, bro? That's crazy clean. Okay, but basically, his kit is very straightforward. You don't really have to be alive like in your head to utilize his character. He is very straightforward. First turn you just want to AoE, and then by the second turn that's when you use his single targets, and then you expel somebody, whoever you're single targeting or whoever has the most ignites, and you just go on from there. So let's talk about the rest of his kit right before I get into like the nitty-gritty of this character. His Holy Relic applies ignites to all enemies for 3 turns at the start of the turn. Allies damage taken decreased by 10%, and their attack related stats are increased by 6% for each ignite on the enemy, which is really strong. And allies can be anyone. That is not gatekept by just Fire Force. So no, that's a really good Holy Relic overall. His team really likes it for him. And then we go to his actual cards where he has Combustion, where he does Pierce Rate, crit damage, and he does extra damage when Divine Flame is active. And then he has his AoE Infernal, which is double crit chance, increase the damage dealt by 1.3% of his HP for every 1% of his HP, which is pretty good. As he's at full HP, that's like a lot of damage, I'm not gonna lie. And then he also gets attack when he does the skill, and he does damage based off of ignites. It's a really strong little kick he got going on, and his skill animations are fire. And then his ultimate, it's literally just an ultimate. It's just a AoE nuke, basically. It's nothing too substantial. So let's get into the nitty gritty about this character, right? We went through his kit, I explained what he does, I read off his skills, so we all know exactly what he's capable of in terms of on paper. But is this character worth having? So the funny part about this is that I'm doing the grand guides after the banner's already left, right? So even if I say this character's great, this character's trash, this character's mid, it doesn't matter because you can't pull the character anymore. But let's just say that you did pull on the collab kit banner, you still have all the collab characters like level 1 or something, and you haven't built all of them yet. So this will be a pretty good video. This will be a pretty good video for those type of people. In general, who cares, right? Every character's gonna get built. It doesn't matter who, what, when, where, or why. You're gonna build them eventually, right? So let's get into the realistics of this character. Is he good? I'm gonna have to say it's a 50-50 with it, right? Because the Fire Force team as a PvP team is not that much of a meta shifting team, because it's still just the Eskin or Merlin show. It really is. They just added these two characters and Tamaki to make it seem like he was crazy, but genuinely speaking, he's not that wild. He is strong, even like at a high dupe level, he is really strong, but he's not unkillable. He's not Eskin or Merlin. He's not even Sho at times. Like Shinra is very killable even with that damage cap, because characters like Eskin or Merlin can pretty much bypass damage cap when they hit you for 50%, and then their extra death damage smacks you in the face 14 times. And then Sho hits for like a fucking millennia and a half. So it's very, very easy to kill him even with damage cap. And it's also very easy to kill his team. So it shouldn't be that big of an issue, right? To make this character, you know, relevant. But that's besides the point. I will say that he has a lot of use case in PvP as of right now, because the Fire Force team is probably the strongest team. Are they consistent? I wouldn't say consistent, because I'm still winning games without these characters. I haven't ran any of these characters in PvP, and I'm still winning 6 consecutive wins against Fire Force characters. So realistically, he's not that mandatory, but he is cool. He is a very cool character, I will say that. His animations are pretty sick. Like, genuinely, he has some of the sick animations in the game. Like, homie be breakdancing on people, bro. Like, I get it. That's what he does in the anime, but, like, that skill is tough. That skill is actually sick. And then, like, what, his level 3? Beat. Me. No, that skill is fire. Literally. And then his AoE is just, it looks really cool. Especially when you get a kill while throwing that AoE out there, and then, like, the little windscreen is just him putting his little rockstar hands up. Like, no, they cooked on his animation. I don't really care about the OM, sure. I can watch it. Why not? But no, the ultimate was also really cool too. Hitting that sub-light speed, and now he's faster than light or some shit, and then he just nukes you. Yeah, like, his ultimate is so sick. His ultimate is really sick. They did very well. Okay, but is he worth it? Yeah, sure. In PvP standards, yeah, he's still relevant, and he's still up there in the top 2 teams, and he's not one. But when it comes to PvE, what is he doing? In PvE, he's not doing much as a red unit. There's not much he can do in PvE, but if you don't have Millum, like LR Millum, if you're one of those accounts that are, you know, any time in the last like 2 years, because LR Millum hasn't been around for a very long time, you're probably going to be missing out on a pretty solid damage dealer for OG Demon. And you're probably one of the type of people that's running like Red Gelda or something like that, or that's just some sort of weird demon team or a goddess team for some reason. Shinra does replace LR Millum. He is really good because he does good damage. I think he actually does more damage than Millum, because Millum for some reason is just not allowed to crit the OG Demon anymore. So she is a pretty much she's falling out of the OG Demon best team, especially with Shinra. I think Shinra is just better. Like, it's not even like a competition. He is just doing better damage, better numbers, and he's better kitted for the situation. Granted, he can't ignite OG Demon and he can't expel him, but he is doing a good amount of damage. Or at the very least, you can replace LR Lost Vayne on the meta team and just use Shinra and Milim. That should go really well as well, because I'm pretty sure Shinra is hitting damage cap regardless, because homie is just that strong. But other than that, I mean, what, Crimson Demon, he's usable. Crimson Demon is easiest content of all time. And then, like, what else would he be used for? He can be used in, what do you call it? I don't, W invite, too bad I can't do it right now. He can be used in Demonic Beast Battle, I guess. I don't see him being too bad in Bird. Probably not 4-4, but he can definitely fast clear. Him and the Fire Force team can fast clear Rosvelger. Okay, pal. They can fast clear Rosvelger. They can definitely do Skull and Hottie. Nidhogg, maybe? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but I think he can do Nidhogg. And then, like, Ratatoskr? Sure. He can probably squeeze out floors 1 and 2. Maybe even floor 3. As the main DPS of the team. And he's also a human. So he's not getting Valenti's full passive since he is human, unfortunately. But it does work. It's kind of like Escanor Merlin in a sense. Like, you can run it, but is it worth it? Probably not, because you're not getting Valenti's full passive. So realistically, there's not a lot going on with this character outside of, well, PvP. And once he drops out of PvP, it's not going to be that much going on for him either. Especially with Solos coming around. That's going to be an unknown variant. So 9 times out of 10, the Fire Force team is going to get obliterated by unknowns very soon. And it's really not that crazy. So let's talk about his gear, right? I'm going to use him on HP defense because, again, attack crit, even though he does good damage, you don't need attack crit because he does good damage regardless. So just run him on HP defense. That'll be the best case scenario. And then also that skills is passive a little higher based because his corrosion thing is based off of his HP, not the enemy's. So putting him on HP defense would not be bad. You can even put him on HP crit if you want to get freaky. But I wouldn't recommend attack crit because he doesn't need it. Not at all. And in terms of ult level, even though the banner's already gone, doesn't matter. Maybe y'all are holding onto his coins. I'd probably say to get him at the very least 2-6 because 2-6 is pretty good for his kit. But 3-6 is like his minimum or some shit like that. But it's fine. 2-6, 1-6, 3-6, whatever you have, it's not gonna make a difference. He's still gonna do the same thing he's always been doing. And that's really it. Like, he is good, but he's not crazy worth it value-wise. So I'll put it like this. If you didn't pull him on the collab banner, you're not missing out, right? Because the team is not that overpowering in the first place. You can still beat the Fire Force team with other teams. The team is not that crazy. So missing out on Shinra is not the end of the world if you miss the banner. But if you have Shinra, you can get some use case out of him in PvE and obviously PvP. So I think that's how I'm gonna wrap this one up. This grand guide has been, you know, fun. It's not that longest grand guide of all time, but there's really not a lot to talk about with this character because the Fire Force characters as a whole, they didn't really leave an impact on the game like any other collab has, except for one character, which we will get into in the next grand guide. But for now, this is the facts and it's not that crazy. So, okay, let me not say facts. That's just my opinion. This is my opinion, not a fact. This is my opinion. And we'll just go with that as we do. So, in any sense, Shinra's cool. Shinra's really strong. Shinra's really fun. But he's really not, you're not missing out on much. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I will see y'all in the next video. Yeah, if you pulled Shinra, W. If you didn't, you're not missing out. It's that simple. So, that's going to be a video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace!